Hey, this is Jay with Illumin Reiki Academy coming to you with another Illumin Reiki insight for this week. So this week I wanted to talk to you about a question that many Reiki students quietly carry after class. And I know this is something that I struggled with in the beginning. And that is the question, am I doing this right? So sometimes the student asks this directly, other times it shows up in different ways. They may say, I do not feel Reiki very strongly. Or what if I forget a hand position? Or why does my experience feel different from somebody else's or different from when we were in class? Underneath those questions is usually a sincere desire to honor Reiki and practice very well. So, first, I want to say this very gently. Reiki does not ask you to become perfect before you practice. We're still practicing, right? So, Reiki invites you to begin. So, when students worry that they're not doing Reiki correctly, I often return to the Reiki principle of just for today, do not worry. I mentioned that this has been a mantra of mine because I did suffer from anxiety for many years. And just for today, do not worry was something that helped me overcome that. And then I apply this in how I practice my Reiki as well. Because when I worry, or when any of us worry, we pull ourselves out of being present. It can make us overthink every sensation, compare ourselves to others, or turn practice into a test. But Reiki is not strengthened by worry. We're diminishing Reiki when we worry. Reiki is strengthened by practice, presence, humility, and trust. The only wrong way to do Reiki is to not try to do Reiki. If you're showing up sincerely, inviting Reiki, placing your hands, and allowing the energy to flow, you're already learning and you are sending Reiki. So when I first experienced and learned Reiki, I had to learn in a very different way than many students do now. My Reiki teacher gave me the attunements, but there was no training at all. I had to learn Reiki largely all on my own. And that took a lot of courage and it took some practice and it required to work with the energies even when I did not fully understand what was happening. And as I look back now, I can see how much that has shaped my approach to practicing Reiki. I learned by relying on the guidance of the Reiki energy itself. I had to listen, I had to practice, and I had to trust what Reiki was showing me. So this is one of the reasons I'm so comfortable with an intuitive approach to working with the Reiki frequencies. I know what it's like to move forward without feeling completely a certain way. And I want my students to receive more support than I had. And one of the most important lessons I learned is that Reiki flows through us, not from us. There have been many times when I was offering a Reiki session and I didn't feel Reiki very strongly. And in those moments, I just remained present, trusted that Reiki was flowing. And afterwards, the clients reported having received wonderful experiences in those healing moments. And that taught me something extremely essential. That was that Reiki was meant for them. That Reiki session, it was meant for them, not me. And as the practitioner, I do not need to feel everything in order for Reiki to be working. I do not need to control the session. And I do not need to manufacture the energy. I need to be present, invite Reiki, and allow it to flow. So if you do not feel Reiki strongly, be patient with yourself. Release the expectation of how you think Reiki should feel. Reiki may come through warmth, peace, stillness, a tingling in your hands, sometimes an emotional response, or just simple quietness. It may be subtle and it may be working more deeply than your senses can immediately recognize. So, a simple practice that I teach you practice right now is just go ahead and put a hand over your heart and then just place the other hand over your lower belly or solar plexus. Invite Reiki. Take another slow breath and say inwardly, just for today, I release worry. Reiki, help me trust that you are flowing. And Reiki, help me to practice with patience and sincerity. Then simply rest with Reiki. Do not turn the practice into a test. Let it become a relationship. Confidence in Reiki does not come from never having questions. No, I have questions every day. It comes from practicing through those questions. And the more you practice, the more you begin to rely on the divine essence of Reiki rather than your own anxious thoughts. You begin to trust the quiet nudges, those subtle influences, and the inner guidance of the energy. So this week, if you find yourself wondering, am I doing this right? Come back to this. Just for today, do not worry. Practice anyway. Place your hands on your client or on yourself. Invite Reiki, and then let Reiki show you what it is means to trust. Thank you so much for being here. If you'd like to learn more about Reiki classes or Reiki healing, visit our website at illuminreikiacademy.com. And I always send anyone who's viewing this many Reiki blessings and healing. And I do offer that to you. And I hope you have a beautiful day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Have a great one. We'll see you now. Bye.